Western Conference. So in the East, for me, you get to pick up to 7 people. So the first, well, the order doesn't really matter. I didn't have them like in so, but just first as I have it written down, Jalen Brown of the Boston Celtics. I thought he should have been a starter just due to the fact, not that he's averaging the same numbers as Tatum, but it's like comparing something that's like tomato tomato. I just feel like he's been solid this season. I didn't think Jalen Brown could ever be as good as he is now, just coming out of college and things like that. I feel like every year he has gotten better just on both sides of the basketball. And, the Celtics being the number one seed, I feel if you are number one, you should have two representatives. That's just how I feel. So out Jalen Brown. Next for the Philadelphia 76ers, someone who I guess could be the biggest all-star starter snub, Joel Embiid. You just talked very highly of him in the Philadelphia 76ers ever since he came back from his injury. They just been on a tear. Actually, it was foolish enough to switch my MVP pick from him, and I went with Ja. And now it looks like Joel Embiid can't win it. So shout out to Joel Embiid. He's been very dominant. I believe he passed now Luca for most leading in points per game. So shout out to Embiid. Next, from the New York Knicks, I gotta show some love to them because they are the seventh seed as of right now. I'm going with Mr. Jalen Brunson. If Seb was here, me and him always go back and forth for who's the best player on the Knicks. I feel it's Jalen Brunson. He's just made such an impact since signing with this team. I feel if he wasn't on this team, they would not be in top 8 right now. Um, having just putting up career numbers. I believe he's shooting about 40% from three, at least 20 points per game. Um, I don't know if it has anything to do with his dad being on that coaching staff. I don't know how much that connection helps him out for like comfortability. But I have Jalen Brunson. Next, from the Miami Heat, I have Bam Adebayo. The Heat's kind of been up and down, but as of recently, they have picked it up because they have been more healthy, and someone that's kind of been holding the fort while the team has been up and down has just been Bam Adebayo on both sides of the ball. We all know what he could do defensively. For every year, he's a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. But even what he has done offensively, I've seen just some very dominant games for him this year. He's definitely worked on that medium range jump shot. We all know the force he could be down low. I feel Bam should be in the All Star game, so I got Bam. Next, also from the Philadelphia 76ers, I have to go with James Harden. I feel the adjustment that he's made to his game, even though we've seen it the past couple years, just him being that point guard and facilitating. We also seen it in Brooklyn. Um, we seen before the season started, Doc Rivers talked about, Harden just being in that Magic Johnson role, not really thinking too much about scoring, but just getting his teammates involved. And we just seen the Sixers have been, flourishing with him in that role. I believe he's averaging at least 10 assists, if I'm not mistaken. So 20 and 10, he's doing his thing. That starting point guard for the Sixers, they are the 2 seed. I also feel they should have two representatives, so I got James Harden. So now the last two spots, I have to go with a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I have Darius Garland. I feel that the Cavs just being a top 5 seed, I feel they have been just putting in work this season. When Donovan Mitchell has been out, we have seen Darius Garland elevate his game, sort of what we've seen from last season before Donovan Mitchell got here, just getting all of his teammates involved, just getting to the basket at the small guard is very impressive. He shoots the three ball very well. I think he's the perfect point guard to have. Um, I got Darius Garland. And for the last spot, um, it was hard to do, but it just comes to I think seeding matters. I have to go Drew Holiday for that last spot in the All Star game. I was thinking about Tyrese Halliburton, but as of because I'm when I did these picks, I did them as of today, and the Pacers are like the 11th or 12th seed right now, not even really in the plan. So it's like yes, he is having a career year him, I believe, like top 2 or 3 in assists this year. He's definitely doing his thing. But I have to go Drew Holiday. When Giannis and Middleton was out, we seen Holiday carry the Bucks in games and keeping them afloat as a top 4 seed. Him just being that veteran leader. He never looks rattled. He's very good in clutch moments. I have Drew Holiday in the last spot. So once again, I have Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, Jalen Brunson, and Bam Adebayo, James Harden, Darius Garland, and Drew Holiday as my all-star bench players for the East.
All right.
You
Any
cannot.
honorable mentions? Like someone that you feel.
Well, Tyrese Halliburton was that honorable mention. I can't really think. I'd have to look back, but I was just thinking of someone like Tyrese Halliburton. Um, Top of my head, really. Besides that, if you want to talk about Julius Randle, like you could definitely name him. He is having a good year, but you already know I like to say he just shoots way too many threes for me. I'm not the biggest fan.
Mhm.
If you want to mention Trey Young, the Hawks are the eighth seed. You could definitely say him, but that's my 8. Will it be like that? Probably not, but that's just how I have it.
Yeah. So my East reserves, first starting out with, like I said, Joel Embiid, 33, 10, 4, impressive. Like I said, best center in the league. I think he proved that Saturday when he just went rampage on Jokic. So no explanation there. James Harden following right after, having a season 21 and 11. Um, create even him taking his back seat is still impressive numbers. Showing that he is the playmaker for the 76ers, and everybody's eating, doing spectacular. Shout out to the 76ers. Third, I have Jalen Brown. Um, First seed Celtics, averaging 27, 7 and 2. Seeing these games, like Jalen Brown is very aggressive, not scared at the moment. Whenever he's on, he's on. Um, really no stopping him really, and definitely doesn't take a back seat. So Tatum is definitely capable of taking over a game as well. So shout out to him. Um Number 4, I have Julius Randle, sitting at 24 and 10. Um I did pick Julius Randle just because, if you look at front court players, he's been one of the most impressive front court players, compared to like anybody else. Right behind, like behind Embiid and the starters, I really feel like, numbers wise, he's really up there with them, and he deserves a spot on the All Star team. So, shout out to Julius Randle. Next, I have Trey Young, um, sitting at 27 and 10. He's averaging just about the same amount of points as Jalen Brown, and just about the same amount of assists as James Harden. So, definitely have to give him a nod with those impressive numbers as well. As you said, he's sitting at eighth. Um, I know there's been drama with him and Nate McMillan and the Atlanta Hawks, but I can't discredit the performance that he's been doing, that he's been carrying on night by night. Definitely impressive numbers by him. Definitely had big games as well. Been holding it down for me on my fantasy, so shouts out to him. Next, I have Tyrese Halliburton, specifically because, off the sheer fact, I did not expect the Pacers to even be at this level, and he's been a big, like he's been the main one responsible for this success. I know they're struggling now. He's been out the lineup. I feel like he's coming back in the next week. I believe he's been out like for the past 2 weeks, so they've definitely been struggling. Everybody's been stepping up, but they've been struggling to win games. But with him in the lineup, he's definitely a high IQ player. Definitely led them to definitely some close wins, especially one of the significant wins against the Lakers in that close closing moment. So shouts out to him. And then lastly, I have Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat, sitting at 21 and 10. Very impressive. I would have had Jimmy Butler because I feel like there's been more games Jimmy Butler has been impressive, but Jimmy Butler has only played, I think, only 36 games. Bam Adebayo has been at like 48, I think, or 46. So I have to give him more credit. And also, you feel me, 21 and 10. I have to give him the nod. So, definitely impressive. And again, if you look at front court players, he's been in the East. He's been one of the most impressive as well. So, definitely shouts out to him. So my reserves is Harden, Brown, Embiid, Halliburton, Randall, Trey Young, and Bam Adebayo.